Hey, what's up? I'm gonna take a few minutes this time to actually make sure shit's working. Let everyone know I'm live. Just a second. Oh, shit. Oh, bro. Okay. Thumbs up. I had to change a bunch of passwords, so I forgot I gotta sign into some shit. Alright, let's just get into it. Um, Mostly this week I worked on expanding the dictionary here. So I added a few words. This is just kind of the busy work of it, but I also am realizing this is all the default. Uh, this is all the default GBstudio font I've been using, and I did want to make my own font set just so that all my assets were my own. The UI stuff's the only stuff I haven't changed, like the text borders and all that. So I don't want to build too many of them because what I wanted to do today was just do like another dictionary entry to show you that process and how I set these up a little more in depth. And I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because as we'll see here in tiled, if we pull that up, what I'm basically doing is using this new, this was all from Hula Hoops I made, so this is actually a rather old set of assets here. You can see those are like all the NBA logos I did right there, MJ. So I've been using these to put text in my background layers. When you're building a Game Boy game, you've got to use your backgrounds a lot to save space. So what we're going to do here is first we'll just build a new map, and this is going to be the background of our new dictionary entry. So this size right here, 20 by 18 or 160 by 144 in pixels, 20 by 18 in tiles. Let's call this pants dictionary. I think that's the next thing I'm going to make a dictionary entry for because it'll be really easy to copy and paste over. But like I was saying, that size is the default size of one Game Boy display screen. So I like to start with that. That way there's not really any scrolling that needs to be done. So far, all the single entries have fit on one screen. Sometimes I've had to play with my sample sentences a little, but it usually works. And so the first thing I'll do is just copy and paste over an old dictionary entry, and then I'll just start kind of like blanking out a few words just so I don't get the two confused as I flip between tabs. So I need to look up. I already know what I want to go with for my sample sentence here. I've got to make sure. Okay. Let's see if we have a perfect. So copying and pasting does save a lot of times on these. We're going to be doing an entry for pants, like I said. The word hose is a feminine noun. And then we'll just... Sometimes copying and pasting saves more time. Sometimes not looking through a bunch of tabs saves more time. We'll just do this slow way. Actually, do Another time saver is a lot of times you'll end up with just a lot of these little blank spots in here. So at the end, I'll just wait and paint bucket in a bunch of those. Sorry, doing two things at once here. This is a time saver. Our sentence is going to be Hosen aus Baumwoll, which just means pants made of cotton or cotton trousers. It also gives me a chance to add in kind of a secret word. That's not going to fit in there. Not every single word, obviously, in the entire game is going to get an entry, otherwise it would be too big. So this is kind of a cool way to show, like, the word for cotton is literally tree wool. I'm guessing by the time the player's gotten here, they'll have already unlocked the word for tree, since that's very early, like right outside the house. So that way, hopefully the player makes that connection by that point. Because this game is very much meant to encourage the player to check outside resources. It is definitely not like a standalone language learner. And go in here. Copy and paste the rest of it. Wrong box. I also like sample sentences like this because they give the player a chance to see some of those compound words in action. We almost always say made of, or you could just say of in English, but it tends to be a little ambiguous. There's also another way I'm kind of, like I said, kind of like hidden words or words that don't have their own entry that I'm trying to reiterate and leave the player with a knowledge of, are things like the two different ofs in German of fawn or Form and aus. So there's multiple sample sentences now that have used this particular style. Looks like I didn't really need to paint bucket on that, so just filling in that one gap. And then as you can see, these all just have a blank square here. So we'll save that, and we will export it as an image. Should probably just set these all up to export to the same place so they're just there, but I've got this, why the fuck is maps open? Clunky thing going on. So we'll just search for it. It's in there. I've got my game assets here. We want to drop this in backgrounds. And then okay, we're going to get back into GBstudio here. And so when I do one of these dictionary entries, I usually like to just find the closest object to them. So for us, that's going to be the shirt here. So I'm just going to copy that scene, paste that scene, and then that way it keeps all the same. B button for back, hides the actor automatically, and I can just substitute things in and out accordingly. And then we're immediately going to change the name of that so it's listed correctly. And we're going to go to change the background to pants. The only actors in these rooms, they're just icons, they don't interact. Some of them I haven't even named apparently. But since that's best practice, let's name this Dictionary Pants. Change that to our pants icon here. So this is looking like we want it. What we need to do now is add in, we need to adjust. This is another one about these background layers and the way I'm doing it in Tile that I need to adjust my workflow with, because I have to constantly switch these up, which is a couple minutes at a time, but it makes you wonder how much you can save when you batch these out and kind of wait to do this part after adding several entries, or if you just did it a section at a time, it definitely would save there. So I'm actually going to move this over because I know that P comes before S. It's alphabetical by English. So we're going to go in and switch that up really quick. And then tiled, so open recent. Huh? Let's this up. There we go. This goes very quick. Those even happen to line up. And then we just export this. Do that. It's the same little thing we did before. To replace. And then when we get back into GBstudio here, we can see that this already just changed it when it replaced that. So our next step here is to copy this actor and then paste it. Similarly, this is going to be the same thing more or less we did with the room, right? We're just going to substitute everything out. So change the name to pants page, sprite sheet to pants, and then this is the important part, is changing the route so that it goes to pants, clothes, dictionary. It's going to drop us off in that same kind of spot I like at the bottom of the page. The actor's hidden, so it doesn't really matter. And already had a variable set up for this, I believe, because I copied the actor that I used in the shop down here. I copied the shirt actor for the pants. So let me just check on the interaction stuff here. So those are 4 pants bought, if pants bought. So that should be the same up here. Yeah, as you can see, it has definitely grown. So I think that's like our 14th entry in the dictionary here. If pants dictionary is false. Alright, word. I forgot to grab my controller. It's not that big a deal. Let's see how this plays. And then I guess I'll also just kind of better turn that on. Cool. Set that right there for us. Okay. Start with a new game. We also want to check out just kind of, yeah, we'll just talk as we go here. I changed the data on the money, the display on the pause menu for all the money that I was talking about a couple weeks ago. First, let's check. That looks good. So I want to see how that works with the XP and everything. I don't think there's enough coins in the game right now to even see how it all goes. So a few of the new ones, I wasn't sure how to go with those. This I built in to kind of be a freebie, because you're obviously, by the time you look at the dictionary, you've seen the computer. This was also a word I learned fairly recently, Bildschirm, for a monitor, a display, and then table. Some of these I don't know how much to unlock them. I also like the idea of giving a few base words to kind of establish some things with those objects that are just in the room to begin with. And then some of them I want to, with obviously like points of interaction, that unlocks them. This is again used aus to kind of reiterate that made of, teach a vocabulary word that's kind of hard to do in its own entry. Nothing there yet. New tree icon that we did for nature. So let's check some things out. Then we'll check the dictionary here at the end, kind of see what it looks like. Back to what I was saying about words like table, you almost always interact with the object on it. Feels like that's a good one to give away just for free. The bed, there's no interaction with yet. Okay, let's change to the astronaut. That'll also open up another dictionary entry. This is new. That's been there, but now it actually... Okay. So we've got our 1 coin. Perfect. It still says the same stuff when you interact with the tree. Now there's just actually a dictionary entry for it. Like I said, we'll just kind of wait till we get to the end to do all those. Ghost interactions working. 2 coins is good. Is good. Yeah, sometimes the way I copy and paste these coins, it's really easy for them to hide the wrong one if you don't go in and kind of make sure it's not on the default setting. So it never hurts to just play test the hell out of those. I added a few more around. I need to get some more action going here with some of the buildings I've already built, add some rooms, and figure out what I'm doing with this cave. I've got some ideas, but it's not quite there yet. Okay, 6. Okay, so we have the bill and the 1 coin. Cool. Seven's working. So I think I accidentally skipped kind of 4 and 5 there. That's alright, because we gotta buy some things. Okay, 5's working. Four is working. Cool. You need to take like the little shop dude, make him a full character. Let's do this real quick. Alright, 9. I guess that's the whole point is I can go this way now. Need to figure out what I'm doing with that building. I think we're just going to put someone else in there. Another character. But I feel like there's an obligatory fishing game to be had here. Maybe that'll be it. Okay, 11's displaying properly. And this is the kicker. When it resets to the new one, I have not added the correct actor in. Shit. Yeah, so that whole display only really reads up until 20. Okay. Let's just check a couple things here. Make sure all this is working correctly. Cool. So this is ideally what I'd like every kind of dresser to have is like a full 9 to display. Seems to work pretty well. And then a few of them kind of exclusive, like the Carl like pig suit I've showed you. Ones that require some unlocking, but I don't know. I think I'm gonna try and go with like 3 that are standard throughout the game, pretty much anywhere you are, and then other ones that kind of change, come and go. But I'll let that come along naturally. Okay, so this is buys. Well, let's actually go to the clothing store first because I need to test the newest dictionary entry. That's right, the shoes are still busted, but I haven't fixed that sprite yet, so I just don't care. This is like the only other thing in my dictionary. this point. I did, oh yeah, I got rid of the old display for money. So I oops. I got rid of my old money display, so I can't even check how much money I have right now on there. Just kind of in the dark. So that's still a thing to fix. So I think that's every object I can interact with. Let's just check everything in the dictionary. Animals, pig, good. That's our new one. Looks good. Always good to check the actors and rooms that you cloned as well, because sometimes with like the routing, it'll start to kind of misfire on you. All those look good. Also, yeah, trying to do this a little more, where like it's a green circular table here, square white table there. I guess just kind of to add visual appeal. Some of these also just contrast better depending on what it is, and I'm kind of just trying to get a look, because it's like this one I did in reverse, where it's green here and then white on this entry. Trying to make as many of these actors like animated too, if it's possible, just to make things a little more interesting. And then this is one where for words like tree and then coming up things like house, starting to create some of these smaller icons. Okay, some of the newer words, gotta make sure that works. Cool. That's our dictionary. And then you can always like visually get a look too, where things like this all connect and make sure it's right. But always, like I said, good to double check when you do an update on one of those. Alright, and as we can see now, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Is that 13 in here? Yeah. Okay, so that was our 13th dictionary entry we got done there. While I'm in here, oh, that's right, I haven't done the second coin yet because I did the logic on this first one in a very cumbersome manner. And I just kind of went with it because at this point it doesn't really matter, because the player can't even get like 20 coins by the time they get there, so I don't need to repeat it. But as it goes further, there will be more like money involved. So basically I just did this whole giant slew of equals tos, else, and I know there's got to be a better way to do this with math for sure, instead of just each individual step. But basically I made it sync where, you know, you have no money, it's gonna hide the actor. If you do, it's gonna, you know, keep it there. But what I can at least do with this is copy it over to the second one here. Yeah, I'm just going to delete that old guy. And what I also want here is when this room initiates, it tells you how much experience and money you have. And right now, this one is only set to tell you how much XP. So that way, even if the actor for the money icon doesn't display properly now, it will at least give you the written cue. And so basically what I have to do next is take like another one of these. So that if you have over, this goes 1 coin all the way up to 20, being 4 of those like $5 bills I did stacked together. It's a crazy long animation. But it seemed like simpler at any rate. I went with a treacherously like long but very like easy way of doing it. I'm sure there's a way that uses a little more brain and gets there a lot faster. So what I need to do is basically the same logic I used with these, except on a much higher scale, so that it'll keep this displayed. And these, I think, since it's not like a data bar, you go in here on like the data screen, I want to do the coins where if I like copy and paste them in, it's side by side instead of like here. It's just easier to like show what I'm talking about. Drop the next one like there, and then like there. And do 5 of them so that way the money kind of piles up centered, instead of just stacking in another line. I think that'd probably just look a little better. Anyway, that's my big project for like later tonight. That's not going to make for very entertaining content. And we've seen how a dictionary entry is made now in Geisterland. I need to start coming up with more characters and building some more story, really expand this map. And yeah, I've got some things with the cave, finishing out at least some of the kind of interior rooms like I talked about, but I want to kind of get like another area going over here, even if it doesn't fill in all the way yet. Anyway, that's all for tonight. I'll be doing the same thing again next Tuesday. Get on here and do another little dev update. All right, later.